So welcome everybody. We are going to do some good emotional advice. Nowadays everybody is so stressed. We feel like we cannot handle situations in our lives, but we can. It's just frustration and we feel stressful, and it is really hard for us to hold on, to keep our cool in these situations. What we want is that I want to be able to handle these situations better. I want to be able to have a solution for these situations. But first step for that is that we should be able to deal with these situations first before we learn how to manage them better. First, we gotta be able to handle our emotions, and then we'll be able to manage these situations better, where we feel frustrated, where we feel like we can't bear the situation. You have to be very mindful in these situations so you can better look at your emotions and your thoughts, and you can recognize what you're going through. You need to be able to control. No, you need to be able to assess your emotions. In those situations, you have to recognize what you feel. Even if you feel frustrated, even if you feel like those emotions are like sweeping you off of your feet, you gotta stay in control. You have to name what you're going through. I'm sad right now. I'm angry. I have this thought that I'm not good enough, and that makes me anxiety. You have to think through that in your mind, and that's how you will be able to distance yourself from those feelings. And you can look at them objectively, and you can make a note about those stuff in your mind, that this is happening to me. And if you learn to notice these situations in time, then the emotions can take over, and you won't do something that you will regret later. Anything, it can be anything. It can be like arguing with someone, or it can be like you giving up on like an interest, or like giving up on a task that you really wanted to achieve, or closing up when you can't communicate properly with someone really close to you. Shutting down and closing up in those situations, it can be anything like that. And we don't want those. We all want to change those situations. We all want to prevent them, and we all want to be better at managing those situations, but it's really hard. We need to cope with our emotions. So that's why it's important that you first notice it, that I'm going through this, and I'm going to stop for a moment. I'm going to think through what I'm going through before I'm letting that take control over me. You make a note in your mind that I want to do this, which is a destructive behavior. Anything can be a destructive behavior. Like I said, like yelling, shutting down, closing up, destroying something, eating unhealthy, or using anything else as a coping mechanism, anything bad. We don't want those stuff. We don't need those stuff. There are addictions, but we don't need those stuff. We just need a healthy way to cope with things, and those are not healthy ways of coping with things. The healthy way of coping with things is letting yourself feel your emotions, taking deep breath and making and trying to calm down and taking care of ourselves. In this situation, it's important to try to go back to your previous mindset. I think that is a really good thing to do. That's what I always do. I'm convincing myself that, yeah, I'm scared because I feel like my friend doesn't care about me, and I'm scared that what did I do? What happened? And I just get into my emotions. But again, if you examine the situation, if I examine the situation, what happened? There's nothing happened. My just friend maybe just made a bad comment about me, or he didn't reach out to me that day, or my friend didn't have time for me to talk, but nothing happened between us. Or even if he made a mean comment about me, nothing really changed between us. Nothing really changed in the way that we are to each other. We could have just had an argument. But it doesn't mean that we are not friends anymore. It doesn't mean that I can rely on them, or we won't ever meet again. Or if it's a stranger that made you upset, then it's even easier to solve that situation, to resolve that situation. Nothing happened. My day was good before this, and my day is gonna be good from now on as well. So that I think it's important to go back to your previous mindset. But before that, we examine a bit more what we are dealing with. Like, what do I want to do, and what happened that made me feel like that? I feel like my friend doesn't care about me. It's a thought. It's not actually a feeling. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling sad or anxious. It's a thought that I think that my friend is not caring about me anymore, and that makes me anxious. With this, we can like recognize the patterns that happen in ourselves, in our mind. What happened? What do I feel? What situations trigger me? And with that, we'll be able to look out for those situations in the future, so we can avoid going through the same thing over and over again, because these patterns are not gonna go away if we don't make them. We have to do something about them. And that's how we'll be able to heal. In these situations, we might want to like just solve these situations, like break these patterns. But in overall, we should pay attention to our emotional needs as well. So maybe you wanna look further what's causing these feelings inside you more, so you can solve the underlying issue. But currently, yeah, that was advice for long term, but currently I'm talking about suggesting that we learn how to manage these situations, how to learn how to manage these situations. I have issues with relying on people too much, and I I seek validation from them, and I seek if they accept me the way I am, if I'm good enough to be accepted with my current behavior. It causes me a lot of anxiety. I just want to be able to just let go of that and just be normal and just do my stuff normally and not caring about other people's opinion. And I learn how to be able to be myself and not be dependent on other people's like feedback. But I still like if people like me, and that you don't need positive reinforcement because you are a valuable person. You don't need to be validated, and you don't need to be accepted by other people at all. And in these situations, you need to learn to follow what your needs, what you want. You want to hang out. If you feel good, you want to hang out with people. If you don't feel good, don't feel guilty if you don't want to hang out. But feeling guilty doesn't help you at all. You can't feel guilty about your feelings. Even if you're mad, don't feel guilty, because then your feelings will take control over you. You have to accept yourself how you feel. I feel this is me, I'm still a valuable person. I'm not a bad person, even if I'm angry or even if I'm super dependent on others, or even if I feel insecure. I shouldn't judge myself, and I shouldn't feel guilty about not being able to control my feelings in that situation, because I'm doing better and better, and I want to change, and I'm capable. I'm super capable of doing good. I'm super capable of doing good. I'm super capable of being in control of a situation. And I'm a valuable person. There's no reason for me and don't say that you're not capable of being normal in a situation. Everybody is, okay? Everybody is capable of handling situations. Trust yourself. I trust myself. I know it. Say after me. And you know it as well, that you are capable. And remember, you don't have to do those thoughts. You don't have to do those things that you want to do. If you would shut down or yell at somebody, maybe you want to do that. Don't feel guilty if you want to do that, because feelings are natural things, naturally occurring things in our lives, in our body. So don't feel guilty about that. But you can choose not to do that. You can choose not to give up. You can choose not to yell at people. Yeah, a lot of stuff. You can choose not to let your anxiety or your doubt make you freeze. I'm gonna push through it. I feel like I'm not being good enough. I feel like I'm a failure, or I made a mistake, and I feel super embarrassed that I made a mistake, but I'll choose to go on and not shut down or not get up in my head and make more mistakes. I choose to continue normally this situation, and I choose that a small mistake I choose that a small mistake won't influence my further performance. Even if I say an embarrassing thing, I'm not gonna shut down. I'm not gonna be totally frozen. I choose to not be affected by small stuff that happened to me or that I did. If I laugh weirdly or I said something stupid, I choose that I'm not gonna be overwhelmed and embarrassed about that situation. And I'm gonna move on like nothing happened. So that's why it's important to learn a healthy coping mechanism for stressful situations. Because if you take a note that my bad coping mechanism is not good, like running away or shutting down or yelling at people or eating or drinking something bad, won't help you. You have to take a note of that in your mind to be able to move on to better coping mechanisms. And it's really just dealing with your emotions and taking deep breath and calming yourself down. And even the taking notes of what happened will make you feel better, because you will realize that nothing really changed. And even if your emotions are very, very high, even if you feel your emotions, you are really angry or really sad or really anxious, they will pass. Those emotions will pass with time. So just thinking about that this emotion will pass can help you get over it sooner. I used to do that. I made myself stressed so I could perform better in situations, so I could feel better about myself after. But it's not a good coping mechanism. And if you do bad coping mechanisms, it could make a habit. It could make bad addictions, and it's important to break down these bad habits or not to develop them at all. So I used to be fidgety more, like at least inside. I used to be like fidgety, and I used to be like stressing over small things and trying to perform better in situations, in every situation in my day or in my life. It's not good. You have to be able to be calm, relaxed. That's how you can manage your life and situations. That's how it's good for you to deal with things. Stress is not helpful at all. Just let go with I have experience in this topic, so don't say that I'm stressing, so I will be able to do this better. Because if you purposely make yourself stressed, that is a bad thing. Sometimes you can't avoid being stressed, and sometimes being stressed boosts your performance, but it's worse than if you would be able to do those things like calmly and normally. Your performance will be always worse compared to those situations. And mentally, it just takes such a huge toll on you. It just drags you down, and you will be super drained if you do that every day or if you do that a lot, you will always feel drained after that, or at the end of the day, you will feel drained. Try not to compensate with stress. So try to find, if you feel like you're not really at the top of the situation, or you're not managing the situation well, then you should just try to find better coping mechanism for your feelings. And in long term, you could think about what would be a solution for your emotional issues more. But a first step is to deal with situations where they occur. And if your problem is solved with that, then it's fantastic. But if you need more digging, then go for it and continue to do it. That's my advice for this session. That was my advice for this session. And I'm glad that I could help you. I'm super grateful for myself for being able to explain. I'm super grateful for myself that I was able to explain well these things that I wanted to share with you. These are my own experience, and some of the things that I am saying to you are from therapy, but still I'm sharing this as my own experience and what helped me. So I'm positive that if you want to improve, then it will help you. So take care, and if you like this video, then subscribe to my channel, and I will do more of these. Hit the notification bell so you will get notified when the more of these are coming. Like the video, please, so it can reach more people. And tell me in the comments, what do you need help with? Honestly, I want to help, and I know that I can help. Trust myself that I can help. Yeah, I trust myself that I can help. I am good with emotions. After this many practice, definitely. So yeah, just tell me what you need help with in the comments, and I will be glad to help and just tell you how to do stuff, or how I would be glad to try and help you. If you need, and don't be afraid to reach out to a therapist. I'm not a therapist, but I like giving advice. Some therapists are smarter than me, so therapists are trained to give advice for every situation. I'm just sharing my own experience, and I'm helping you through what I realized in my own experience, what helped me in my own experience. I think that is a valuable point of view as well. So take care, and and see a therapist. And also, if you have questions that you're comfortable sharing, I'm here to listen and try to help. So bye.